3 chicken tenders, taters and gravy. I throw in a biscuit and a ridiculous movie. Well, short film, I should say. Look, I just review these things, okay, people? I can't be held responsible for what they're classified as. Just cut me some slack. Also, I'm wearing paws on my socks. Just thought you should know.
Bambi man, so sweet you're like the candy man.
Hello, all of you beautiful people over the interwebs. I'm the Bambi Man, and yes, today I am doing a review of the 2020 masterpiece, let's call it, A Recipe for Seduction, brought to you by the Lifetime Network and KFC. A match made in fried chicken heaven, clearly. I remember when the trailer for this first came out, I assumed it had to be some sketch created by Funny or Die or someone else. I mean, there was no way an entire full-length romantic drama involving Colonel Harlan Sanders, played by that guy from Saved by the Bell of all people, was actually being made. And technically that's not wrong, as it's only 60 minutes long, but it still begs the question of why and how this was made. What prompted a company known for fried chicken to team up with a network known for such programming as Army Wives, and that also used to be the home of reruns of the highly underappreciated sitcom Reba, and make it into a love story between a young version of the now late man who went from being their ambassador to eventually becoming critical of their deteriorating of the KFC brand and some random lady? I don't know, but either way it happened and is a thing that now exists in the real world. Now, I've never been a KFC fan myself, so I didn't even bother watching it when it first aired on TV. The only reason I did end up watching it was because my favorite Twitch streamer, Aki the Anubian Nomad, watched it with his buddies whilst in VR chat as a thank you to his viewers for helping to reach one of the donation goals he set up for the payment of his now forthcoming fursuit. On a brief side note, please go show Aki some love. He's an excellent streamer and content creator and just an all-around sweetheart. Check him out if you can. Or when you can, I should say. Just try not to bring up KFC around him. I mean, he's very subtle about his dislike of them, obviously, but, you know, better to be safe than sorry when it comes to the Gold Hopkin boy. He can be ferocious when given the opportunity. Anyway, I decided that after that fun stream, I had no choice. I had to make a video on this and share the bizarreness with you. Well, okay, bizarre may be pushing it too far because, honestly, once you get past the whole Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders oddness, this movie is honestly kind of bland for the most part. The story is about this heiress chick named Jessica who is in something of a love triangle between this uptight rich dude, Billy, chosen by her mom whose name is Bunny. Did they pick that name out of a hat? Is Professor Hinkle on the writing staff here? And the new house chef dad, I mean Harlan Sanders, and the rest of the film involves Billy and Bunny, say that 3 times fast, trying to ruin Harlan and Jessica's potential relationship. And that's honestly it. It's kind of standard as the story goes, which for a short film isn't terrible per se, but it just doesn't lead to much excitement for those looking for any surprises. It's basically just a boring Lifetime drama, but with KFC in the mix for some reason. Well, I say boring, but that leads me to another issue, which is that the pacing feels very off. This film is only 16 minutes, and yet it seems to rush through its plot ridiculously fast, even though there's not much plot to speak of. I mean, the plot may seem simple on paper. Crazy mom and her would-be son-in-law tries to keep her daughter out of handsome chef's pants, and said chef and mom's daughter talk a few times, and relationship blooms, but they don't leave any room for development of the characters or plot threads. They just jump from scene to scene and expect you to follow along. Again, I know it's 16 minutes, but allowing the story to be a little longer here and there would have at least fixed the pacing issues. It probably still would have been a bore fest, but still. Are there any good things? Well, the acting was okay for the most part. None of the performances here are anything to write home about, don't get me wrong, but everyone here is trying to make something out of this weird story. Even Lopez, while obviously not being convincing at all in that makeup, or having any hint of a southern accent, was serviceable as Sanders at least, with the script that he was given anyway. That, and from a technical perspective, the movie is shot adequately enough at least. It definitely has a budget behind it. The cinematography for TV movie quality is fine enough. It's certainly better looking than a romance movie with the Colonel fried chicken deserves, quite frankly. Overall, Recipe for Seduction is far from the worst film I've seen, or at least short film, but I can't recommend it even as a piece of so bad it's good media. It honestly leaves the same impression to me that KFC's food does. There are worse things to eat, but it's just not that memorable enough to leave an impression. Personally, I'm just going to wait for an actual movie about the life of the real Harlan Sanders to come out, be it a documentary or something similar to Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. As for the short, it's best left in the deep fryer. Well, at least we can take comfort in the fact that KFC would never do anything ridiculous with their company ever again. You know what? I'd rather deal with Popeyes instead. Until next time, I'm the Bambi Man reminding you to take care of yourselves. And remember, bird is the word.
Good night, my colonel. Was that good enough, you monsters? Was that good enough for you?
I send in a biscuit. No, that's not. Why would you send biscuits? I don't think anyone sends biscuits in the mail.